right, cool. So here's a question. How has COVID restrictions caused new adaptable approaches that you will now implement full time moving forward? So I guess things that maybe we've learned from a project manager perspective in pharma that have helped do things a little bit better for next time, or lessons learned, like you referenced lessons learned earlier. But is there something specific you can cite that you will implement in upcoming projects, or you have stored away in lessons learned, and that was a great learning from this project or initiative that I can use in the future?
I can tell you something that is happening to me because of COVID and, the pandemic. So enrollment is very important in a clinical study. You have to enroll so many patients, right, to see if it's going to work. The study that I'm working on is in ICU patients with heart failure. So we got ready to start it in March of last year. So what happened in March of last year, right? All the ICUs were overwhelmed. There were so many COVID patients, they didn't even have enough beds. So that was, for us, that put a screeching halt to all of our enrollment. So we were supposed to be done enrolling this month. Now we're lucky if we'll be done by the end of September. And we're looking at all different mitigation strategies to put in place. What can we do to make up some of this time? That was a very special circumstance because of the pandemic. Some of the things we're looking at is we're looking at going to Israel to get some study sites there because they have a super high level percentage of COVID vaccination. So that's one of the, right now we're costing that out and seeing how much time that would take and how much money that would be. So I'd say that from that perspective, COVID was very, very unique. It was just like out of left field, the pandemic and the havoc it wreaked on enrollment for this study.
Yeah, I have some learnings too. They're called the Hulu lenses. They're special lenses you put on people that you can actually see what you're doing. It's like you're inside their eyes. And just to be quick, I had a schedule lined out for operators. I was moving the product from one site to another site. I had the schedule where the new operator is going to go get trained at the old site. The old operator is going to go over to the new site and do all this. So that the schedule was over like 6 months. With the use of Hulu lenses, we were able to do that in 3 weeks. Yep, 3 weeks.
Awesome.
Yeah, because we had to physically travel, right? So you first have to go to the site and you make sure you don't interrupt their operations, commercial supply, then take those operators, fly them to another site, then they have to stay there for a week, and then they go back, and a couple weeks go by. In this case, we basically bought the equipment and we sat there, even myself included, watching the operator doing everything, and we were all going, oh, wait a second, the procedure or the experienced SME would go, oh, when that happens to me. So I think I'm going to really start using that technology much more efficiently.
That's a really good point. And just being able to be efficient virtually too, right? As project managers, I think we've learned that we can get a lot done.
Yeah. Oh,
That's a very good point. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a translator like in each site. So the person, like I was as a Spanish translator. So I'm over here saying, okay, the mechanic is telling you this, and going over to the other guy saying, you're the mechanic saying that. So it was a lot of fun. It was much more, I mean, I could have never done that in a normal commercial site with a narcotic, right? You just can't go in there and help out. So it was good.
Yeah, so that's another improvement and something that you learned to be able to shorten the timeline